he knows he's going to get it. We can laugh all we want. That's the flesh. That is of the devil. It is not of the Father. A husband should not be intimidated by a godly woman. His heart trusts her that she will never purposely try to intimidate him and use manipulation to send him off for spoil. Verse 12. Mishle 31:12. Follow with me, please. Mishle 31:12. She will do him tov and not evil all the days of her chayim. Meaning she will realize she's put on this earth to serve her husband. That sounds archaic. I know. Go ahead, crucify me. That her life as a wife is intertwined with her husband. She is there to make him successful. When he is successful, she is successful. When he is promoted, she is promoted. When he's spoken of well, she is. They share the name. They share the children. They share the bedroom. When her husband is honored, she is honored. She doesn't need to fight for her position or for her territory. She has no territory to fight for apart from her husband. That's it. And how many women are out there fighting for their own territory? Fighting for their own church, trying to establish their own name in Israel, trying to establish their own name, a legacy for their own name. Career women climbing the corporate ladder. Your husband has asked you not to work. The husband has asked you to trust Yahuwah, stay home with the children, homeschool the children, and you're disobeying, you're ignoring him, you're poo-pooing what he's saying, and you're going out there chasing spoil. And his slave cannot trust in you. Verse 13. She seeks the family business. Notice, she is not to call to a career. I'm sorry, I know this is not politically correct. You will have to forgive me or take 2 Vicodins and then forgive me. One way or another, you ladies, you're going to have to forgive me because I'm telling you the truth. She is the one seeking wool. You getting this? Yes. She is the one seeking linen. Look at verse 13. She is an independent businesswoman, not for the man, but for her man. That's right. I know what I'm talking about. Do you? She's not out there looking for work. She's out there trying to build a home business and work and support her husband with his leading. Oh, this is too biblical, Rabbi. We live in modern times. You know what I have to say? Let me take my glasses off so I don't mess up my own glasses. You know what I have to say about modern times? Now you know why I had to take off my glasses first, right? Yes. Because I don't want to get them wet. Verse 13. Like Archie Bunker said, where did she get that terrible habit? You remember? What was her name? Gloria. Yeah, Gloria. No, Gloria used to go, and then Archie would go, where did she get that terrible habit? From him. Verse 13. She likes wool and linen and works willingly with her hand. She doesn't say to her husband, okay, I'll stay home, I'll raise the children, I'll be a businesswoman, not for the world, but for the family, so we could be an Israelite family, and we could have all things in common. And but P.S., don't tell me what to do, because I don't work for you. Uh-oh. Honey, go to work. You have a bad attitude. Go get a job. She does. She does not only work for her husband, she works for her children. And she works for the family success. Because her husband's success is her success. Her children's success in accomplishing things in school is her success. She is the finest of businesswomen, but for the right boss. Now women will say, oh my gosh, did you hear what Rabbi Moshe was saying? That the wives, that when they work, look at verse 13. They're working with wool and with linen and working with their hands, knitting and sewing and whatever other family income needs to be brought in by being creative with their minds and with their hearts and with their hands as an eshet chayil. This doesn't exist, and that's why the mother, turn to your neighbor and say, the mama. The king's mama said to the king that you can't find these kind of women. You got 1,042nd Street women, but you can't find one of these. Now talk to me. You got 1,042nd Street women, but you can't find one virtuous woman in the whole 1,000.
Wow.
So you probably who is talking about here, you're not going to find because of modernity. Now, if a man has one like that, you are blessed, like I do. If a man has two, like some of you do, you're really blessed. Because you could barely find one.
See a million.
You're not hearing me today. Works willingly with her hand. What does it mean willingly? Sweetheart, I work for you. Huh? Yeah, you know why? Because you work for the Father. And you are submitted to the Father. And you hear from the Father. And you hear from the Ruach HaKodesh. So I willingly work not only with you, sweetheart, but I work for you. Because honestly, if I got to go get a job, I'm going to work for a man that doesn't have my best interest at heart. So I don't mind saying it. I'm not going to let modernity steal the blessing of being an eshet chayil. I'm going to work for you. I'm going to work with you. We're going to be a team. Is that radical or is that radical?
That's crazy.
You know, yeah, in the world it's crazy. But look, you're going to work willingly. An eshet chayil works what? Willingly. Look at verse 14. She is like a merchant's ship. What does a merchant ship do?
It goes from port to port.
It doesn't work for the merchants. It provides, right? It provides, yes, the merchants are there to provide for the locals. She is like a merchant ship. She's there to provide, not for Kmart and Walmart while she climbs the corporate ladder. She is there to provide for the locals. And who are the locals? Her husband and her children. Does that describe any of the wives of anybody that you know? There are some, but they're hard to find. Now, I'm not saying women shouldn't go to work. If there's no husband, if the children are starving, go to work. I'm talking about women who are in a family who need to relearn the ways of patriarchy. I've seen women use their medical school education to emaciate and to cut off the private parts, spiritually speaking, metaphorically speaking, of the man, so that he feels incompetent, he feels inadequate.
Right.
And I've seen her divorce him. I've seen it with my own eyes.
She need to marry a doctor. TV does that. She need to marry
This sounds so foreign that it has to be biblically true. Because this is not even what Judaism teaches. This is not even what the church teaches. Now, if you're a single mom and you've got to pay your bills, by all means, go out and work. I'm talking about a virtuous woman who's a husband that is called to find, and that a virtuous woman is called to be in families. If you're married, stay home, build a business, build a family business for you, for your husband, for your children. When you're honored, he's honored. When he's honored, don't go sell your services out in the market unless you're desperate. Because it will stop you from doing his will. In some way, when you put yourself in the market, it will curtail you from doing his will. And more than that, serving your husband. Because remember, ladies, you are his helpmate. You are his ezer kenegdo. As much as you would like me to take that out of my mouth and wash my mouth out with soap, ezer kenegdo, a woman who is rubbing him to be better against him sometime, but needs to be a woman of valor. She's growing in Yeshua to go from a woman who is against him, ezer kenegdo in the Hebrew, helpmate, is a woman who is sometime against him, which is what Eve was. Remember, who had told Eve, be careful that you don't usurp his authority, right? And becoming a woman of valor. She, like a merchant ship, She brings her food from far.